Okay, let's now get back to the next illustration. Uh, Now, in the illustration, if you look into it, what are they saying? Now, let's read it and take understand what are they asking. It is seen from the job card for repair of the customer's requirement that a total of 154 hours has been put in. So that means to do a particular job, how many hours do you require? For this particular job, you have done total of 154 hours. Now they have also given the details of the work done by employees on different days. Now, in terms of an award to an employee conciliation, the workers are to be paid a dearness allowance on the basis of the cost of living index, which works out at 968 for the relevant month. The dearness allowance is to be paid irrespective of the wages, if they are present or on leave on all the working days. So the leave or other things do not matter. What matters is that they have to be working or be part of my company. As long as they are there, that I shall be giving them the salary. Now comes the next portion. Sunday is a weekly holiday and each worker has to work for 8 hours on all the weekdays and 4 hours on Saturday. So that means what are they saying? That the employee should work for what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He has to work for what? 8 hours. And on Saturdays, he has to work for 4 hours. Even though Saturdays he's worked only for 4 hours, he will still be paid what? A full day wage. Workers are paid overtime according to the Factories Act. And what does the Factory Act say? How much do you have to pay them as per the Factory Act? Factory Act says that you have to pay them double in terms of the salary. So whatever extra time you're working, you have to pay them double the salary. Are you clear? Now, workers are paid overtime. Excluding the holidays, the total number of hours works out in 146 in the relevant month. The company's contribution to the period are absorbed into the overhead. So I am not worried about it. So now let's try looking into it. In a week, how many hours should each of them work? We know it is 44 hours. Correct? Now let us try calculating the wages for each of the employees and calculating from it. Now let's try looking into the first employee A and then try finding out how much should I pay him. Now everyone, you guys have the question right, so just take it out. See here, for Mr. A, let's try looking into the number of hours that he is working and then try calculating it based on it. Now A, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Correct? How many hours should Monday he should be working? 8. But how much is he working? He's working for what? 10 and a half. So I'll first write down whatever actual hours he has worked. That is 10.5, 8, 10.5, 9.5, and 10.5. Are you clear? Done. Now, guys, there is one part of the question which is missing in your study mat also, is that what it says is that, let's say for an example, I work for 8 hours a day, then it is fine. If I work for 9 hours, this additional 1 hour what I work, I can use it as a compensation for Saturday. So if I work 1 hour more every day, I can use it as a compensation for Saturday. Are you clear? Guys, are you clear with this? Done. So see here. Now what is this normal RC should work? 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. So 5 days. What is the extra RC can take? Here 1, here 0, here 1, here 1, and here 1. So as you taken 4 hours which is equal to Saturday, the answer is yes. Now what is overtime then? See, out of 10 and half, 8 hours is normal time, 1 hour is working extra because of what? Because of the Saturday thing, right? And he has an extra 1.5 hour. For in there is one part of the question which is missing, which says that if, let's say, one A is working for 10.5 hours, out of which one, that is 1 hour extra what is working, can be compensated on Saturday, like you guys do, right? If I say, hey, you know what, work on Sunday, you will say, sir, extra hour you take it today so that Sunday we don't have to come. Same way, what they are saying is, see, they are giving an option. What is the option they are giving? They are giving an option to Mr. A to say, boss, you attend extra hours, you work how much ever you want, we have no problem, but whatever you are working on, only 1 hour extra can be taken for Saturday thing. Any other extra time you are working shall be considered as overtime. So out of the 10.5 hours is working, 8 hours is the regular hour he has to work, 1 hour goes in as extra. So totally it became only 9 and 9. Still, how much more is required? Still, he has a 1.5 hour more he has worked. For the Tuesday month, nothing there. So no extra. Again, Wednesday it is 1.5. Thursday 9.5, 8, 1. So 0.5 hours. Friday again 1.5 hours overtime. Are you clear? Are you clear with this? Done. Let's now, what does Factory Act say? What does the Factory Act say? Whatever he has worked overtime, this shall be considered as twice for payment. This shall be considered for how much? Twice for payment. That means if he has worked for 1.5 hours, the overtime you will be paying him 3 hours of his regular wages. Factories Act. Are you clear? Same thing for this guy is 0. For Wednesday it is again 3. For Thursday 1. Friday again 3. So total number of overtime he has worked is 3, 6, 9, 10 hours. Correct? Are you all clear with this? Now let's try looking into the B guy. Now how about B? He has worked all the days 8 hours. So B has, see, in a week, this guy has to work for totally how much? And B has worked all the days the regular time, and not only on Saturday has worked extra hours, which will not be considered. So for B, if I look into it, he has worked every day normal hours, Monday to Saturday, that is Monday to Friday 8 hours, Saturday 4 hours, and on Saturday he has worked for extra hours of 4. Now when I come to C, now what C has done? See here, 8. So yes, since he has worked more than 9, 1.5 hours extra time. Second month nothing, again same drama, and on Saturday he has worked extra. Correct? This was not there for the case of A. Are you guys clear with this? Now for C, if I have to do a table, it will look like Monday 8 hours, Tuesday 8 hours, Wednesday 8 hours, Thursday 8 hours, Friday 8 hours, Saturday 4 hours. Now this guy has worked 1 hour extra and overtime 1.5 time. Tuesday nothing, Wednesday 1, Thursday 1, Friday it is, and Saturday everything becomes overtime, because what has he done? He has worked for already 44 hours. See, in a week, every employee should work for 48 hours. Has this guy worked? The answer is yes. Are you guys clear with this? Are you clear till now? So this overtime, so what the question actually is, that it has to say that if an employee works for more than 8 hours, 1 hour of extra time shall be considered extra, which can be utilized towards the 48-hour schedule, and anything over 9 hours can be considered as overtime. Okay, now we have found out the hours, fine. Just tell me, have they given you the basic wages in this question? Have they given you the basic wages in this question? No. Right? How do we calculate it then? In exam, if you get this question, what will you do? That would be for DNS allowance, right? So I'll write an assumption saying that basic wages not given, therefore wages payable cannot be calculated. Okay. Now there is a Namrata, where have they given the information? Thank you. Right? Now, if you are getting paid 200 per day for 8 hours, if you are getting paid 200 per day for 8 hours, per hour, how much is the rate for Mr. A? Per hour, Mr. A is 25. Now, if I go to A's table, correct? Now, let's go to A. Now, if I see A's portion, right? Now, see the clue here. The total number of hours works out to be 176 in the relevant month. The company's contribution, blah, blah, blah. So, 968 is the dearness allowance for a particular month. 968 is the dearness allowance for a particular month. So, per month, you have how much? 176 hours. Therefore, what would be the dearness allowance per hour? What would be the dearness allowance per hour? It's going to be 5.5. Now, if I calculate the number of hours of Mr. A, see here, 40 hours plus extra, therefore 44 hours, plus overtime he has worked for 5 hours, and overtime has to be paid double the salary. Therefore, A has worked for total 54 hours as per the pay scale. Yes or no? Yeah. So if I look into the A's calculation, right? Now A has worked every day 8 hours, 1 hour of extra time on every day, and overtime. So overtime, I know as per the rate I have to pay twice of it. So his 5 hours will be work equal to 10 hours. Yes or no? Done. So A will be getting 25 per hour plus a dearness allowance of 5.5, that is 30.50 for 54 hours, which comes to 1647. Now if I come to B, B is getting what? 100 per hour per day of 8 hours. That means per hour, Mr. B's rate is how much? If B is getting paid 100 per day for 8 hours, how much would be his per hour rate? 12.5. Dearness allowance will continue to be 5.5. Has Mr. B worked any hours overtime? He was supposed to work 48 hours in a week. He has worked only for 48 hours. If you see the calculation, this guy has worked 8 hours every day. On Saturday also he has worked for 8 hours. So this guy has not worked any day extra. So in a week he was supposed to work for 48 hours. He has worked only for 48 hours. So he's not entitled for getting any overtime bonus. So you'll just multiply with 48. Now for Mr. C, he is getting 300 per hour for 8 hours. 300 per hour for 8 hours. That means per hour how much he should get? 300 plus a DNS allowance of 5.50. Done. So he is now, what is the total number of hours Mr. C has worked? He has worked for 57. Now let me see the split of that 57. He has worked 44 hours plus 4 hours and an overtime. Overtime, how much is he worked? 33138. You know, overtime, why we are taking double, right? This is the only thing that you have to remember in the paper, that overtime has to be taken twice. Done. So for C, it will be 43 into 66 hours. Are you clear? Are you guys clear with this? Should I repeat any of this again? Guys, are you there? Should I repeat this question? There is one part of the question missing, which is basically that 48 hours and an extra of 9 hours, which has not been given in the question. Sir, Saturday we don't take extra. Farin, if you see Mr. C, he has already completed his 48 hours quota. Yes or no? See Mr. C. 44 plus 4 he has already completed. So why will you take that as an extra hour? If you would have not worked, let's say if it was 0 and 0 here, then I would have taken 2 extra and 2 into my overtime. Are you clear for it? Guys, see the next question. Suresh, see here. In a week, every employee should work for, in a week, every employee should work for 48 hours. Okay. Now, what C has done, for Monday to Friday, he has worked for 8 hours a day and 1 hour extra. So he has completed 44. Saturday also he worked for 8 hours. Correct? The maximum he would be working is only for 48 hours. That means Saturday he is supposed to work only for 4 hours. This guy has worked for 8 hours. Then what will happen to that extra overtime? Are you going to be paying him the regular salary, or are you going to be paying him the overtime salary? Right? That's why, since he has already completed 48 hours week a quota, you would be paying him as the overtime salary, not the regular salary. Now the same thing I was telling, if let's say this guy did not do extra time on Thursday and Friday, then what I would have done, Saturday out of 8 hours, right? Since he did not complete his quota of 48 hours, so I would take that additional 2 hours as extra to complete that 48. See here, 44 over Monday 1 hour extra 45, Wednesday 1 hour extra 46, and he has to complete 2 more to make it on 48. So Saturday when he's working for 8 hours, I will say boss 4 hours is equal to 8 hours. It's fine, right? But I have 2 hours of shortage which I shall be taking into consideration. Are you clear? See the next question. Guys, what does the question say? Now they're saying in a factory, the basic wage rate is 100 per hour. The overtime rates are as follows. Before and after normal working hours, that means on a regular day, if he's working, you will pay 175%. Now, if he works on Saturday, Sundays, you will pay 225%. Their normal time was 1 lakh hours. Overtime before and after is 20,000 hours. Overtime Saturday and Sunday is 5,000 hours. Okay. The following hours have been worked on job set. So there is a job Z which has worked on, right? So he is working 1,000 hours on a project, 100 hours before and after, and 25 total. So your required, if where the overtime is worked regularly throughout the year as a policy due to the work shortage. This we have covered in the theory. What will happen if a overtime is worked throughout the year as a policy? What do you do? Guys, we had done this in the theory. I'm not asking for the calculation. Calculation will come back later. Okay. Guys, first one. Now the first one is, let me just first calculate the regular wages what I should be paying. Okay, so let me try finding out the hourly rate. The annual wages you are paying annual wages, you're paying 1 lakh hours into 100, you'll pay 10 lakh. 100, no, sorry, 1 crore. Then overtime 20,000 hours. Overtime you are paying what? 175%. Then on Saturday and Sunday, what is working on? You will be paying them how much? 225%. That will be 225 of the rate. That will be 5,000 hours into 225, which comes to 1462. Correct? This is what I would have paid. Done. Now let me do the first one, which is the easiest one. Okay. When the overtime is worked at the request of the customer, that's the most easiest one. When overtime is done at the request of the customer, see here, everything what I'm working on, the overtime premium will be charged to the customer. The overtime premium will be charged to the customer. This is the case C. So how much will the case C work? See here, for 1000 hours you will pay 100. So see, how do we calculate? See, this 1000 hours, how much will you pay? 100. This 100 hours, how much will you pay? 175. And this 25 hours, how much would you pay? 225. Guys, tell the answer. First one, 1 lakh and 17,500. Last one. This entire thing will be charged to the customer. Why? Because he requested it. Yes or no? Guys, I'm doing the point C first because that's the most easiest. So let's go one by one, understand how things are going to change and then start working on it. Right? Now, in the exam, how do I present? Right? In the exam, when I'm presenting, see here, I will say that the total number of hours worked is 1125, whether it is at the request of the customer. Fareen, please understand, when we say charge to the factory, at the end of the day, the customer only has to pay. You are trying to collect the money from the customer only. Are you clear? You're going to be collecting the money from the customer. That is part of my labor cost. The question is only with regards to the overtime, what will happen? Labor cost has to be paid by the employee only, boss. Guys, now see, when I'm trying to present it in the exam, what do? See, first thing, I will collect or I will calculate the regular pay for 1125 hours. So what is the regular pay for 1125 hours? Correct. Now overtime. Now for this 100 hours, how much is the overtime premium that I'm paying? For this 100 hours, how much is the overtime premium I'm paying? See here, you are paying him 175. That means 100 anyway you would have paid him regularly. You are paying him 75 more. So overtime premium, I will write. Then the last one, 25 hours, I have to pay a premium of what? 125. So the total is 123, 125. This is the money charged to the customer. As part of the labor cost. Are you clear? Guys, done? Let's come to the second case. When the overtime is worked irregularly, it is not something which is happening on a regular basis. It is happening what? Irregularly. Now, what happens in case if it's irregular? If it is irregular, then the overtime premium portion gets charged as a factory overheads. Okay. Now see what happens. See, for this 1125 hour, you anyway have to charge the customer 100 rupees, which is 112500. This will be charged to the customer. My only question is with regards to the overtime premium. Now we have already calculated overtime premium here, that is these two, that is 10,6,125. Now this overtime premium, in case of irregular, right, this will be charged to the factory overheads. Customer, you cannot charge because it's not his fault, it's your fault on it. Did you understand the second one also? Guys, done? Everyone's clear with this? Now, the most important thing is the third one, which is it is worked regularly throughout the year as a policy due to the worker shortage. So what is he saying? There is a shortage and you know about it. When you know there is a shortage from the beginning and it is regular, you will charge the customer at inflated rate. So for a customer, he will never know whether it's a regular rate or overtime rate. You will be charging him at what? Inflated rate. Are you clear? Now, what does it mean? See, I calculated the annual wages, which is 1 crore 46 lakh 25,000. 1 crore 46 lakh 25,000. Yes. Now, how many hours did he work? 1 lakh 25,000. How many hours did he work? 1 lakh 25,000 hours is what he has worked. So what I mean inflated rate is, I try taking into consideration 1 crore 46 lakh 25,000 as a total rate for 1 lakh 25,000 labor hours, right? Because the company knew in the beginning that it will become overtime. The company knew itself in the beginning that it will become overtime. So you cannot blame it on the customer or in the factory, because boss, there is a shortage. You have to make employees work, correct? When you do this, what is going to be your labor rate per hour? What will be your labor? Correct. So now what you will do is, this guy has worked how many hours in the project? 1125, right? You will charge him at 117 per hour, not at 100. Did you guys understand this? Guys, did you understand this? Done. Now most of your exam questions are going to be coming from what I'm going to be teaching you now. That's going to be your incentive, or we say is the wage payment system. Now how do you pay wages? Wages generally are paid based on time or based on piece. Time means what? If you are working, I say, boss, I'll pay 100 rupees per hour. I'll pay how much? 100 rupees per hour. If you work for 5 hours, how much will you get? If you work for 5 hours, how much will you get? You'll get 500. This we call it as time rate. Now let's say for an example, I tell the carpenter, per unit you complete, I'll pay 1000 rupees. Per unit you complete, I'll pay you how much? 1000. So if this guy completes 100 units, how much will you pay him? You will pay him 1 lakh. This is known as what? Output based. Clear with these two? Now, the major part for me in the exam, or in terms of your calculation, is how do I keep the employee levels motivated? See, if there is one guy, if I, let's say, pay based on time, people like me will come to the office, sleep, no output, and go. Do you still have to pay? The answer is yes. Why? Boss, because you are committing to pay me what? On an hourly basis. Yes or no? So whether I produce or not, you have to pay me. Correct? Now if I tell that pay on the piece rate, there will be guys who will complete it, but the quality is going to be terrible. Did you understand? Now to make sure that we guys are somewhere in between, where I have to also make sure that I motivate my employees, on the other side also try keeping the cost and the company structure in place, we have a bonus mechanism that is called as the premium bonus methods. Now the first one is called as the ALC plan. Now what does this ALC plan say is, boss, no matter what it is, how many ever are you're gonna work for me, I will pay you that much. Okay. And let's say to make one unit, you require 5 hours. You have done it in 4 hours. You have done it in 4 hours. So what I will do, I'll pay you regular rate. Let's say the rate is 100. I'll pay you a regular rate for 4 hours, which is 100 rupees. So for 4 hours, it will become 400. How much time did you save now? Guys, how much time did you save? A job, 1 hour, right? For 1 hour, I will pay you 50% of my regular rate. What is 50% of regular rate? Which is 50. So I'll pay you totally 450 rupees for that 4 hours. Are you clear? So you're going to pay first. So see the formula, what it says. Halsey plan says time taken into the time rate. Time taken into the time rate. That is, in this case, it was 4 hours. Into the time rate was 100. Plus 50% of the time saved. So I saved how much? 1 hour. So 50% of it will be for half an hour. I'll pay 100, which is comes to 50. So totally I'll be paying him 450. Guys, now solve this question. Guys, did you all get 450? Why? For 6 hours, you are paying 60 plus 2 hours saved. 2 hours ka 50% into 60, that is 360. Here you will pay 1 hour, which comes to 420. Are you all clear? Done? Can we go to the next question? Now the next plan is the Rowan's plan. Now what Rowan's plan says is, see here, whatever time taken, I'll take the previous question only. Time taken was what? 6 hours. You're going to pay him 60. That is fine. Plus, how much time did he save in the previous question? 2 hours. And what was the time allowed? Time allowed is 8 hours multiplied by time taken. Time taken is 6 hours into rate per hour 60. Are you clear? So whatever time you are saving, so that becomes 1/4. Are you guys clear with this? So the same thing when is the same question which I had given. So it becomes what? 6 into 60 plus time saved is 2 hours divided by the total time allowed 8 hours into time taken into rate, which comes to 450 hours. Now see this question. Oh, sorry, we didn't do the ALC, no? Okay, see this question. A skilled worker is paid a guaranteed wage of 30 per hour and the standard time is 4 hours. Mr. P has been a machine man and has been paid wages under the Rowan and he earned an effective rate of 37 per hour. He earned 37, right? How do you calculate it here? Now, if I write the ALC plan, okay. Now, how does ALC plan work? What's the formula for ALC plan? Hours worked into time rate, that is time taken into time rate, plus 50% of time saved into rate. Yes or no? What is Rowan's plan? Rowan's plan says amount is equal to time taken into hourly rate plus time saved by time allowed into time taken into hourly rate. Yes or no? Guys, yes or no? I'm just writing the formula. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Yes. Now read the question carefully and see what are the information given for you. Do you know the rate per hour? How much is the rate per hour? Do you know the time taken? Guys, do you know the time taken? See the question. Guys, yes or no? Do you know the time taken? Time taken? No. Then do you know the standard time? That is what? Do I at least know time saved? The answer is no. Right? Can I say time saved is equal to time taken? Sorry, time saved, can I say is equal to standard time minus time taken? Yes or no? How much ever time is allocated, if you are taking lesser than that, we can say it is to be what? Time saved. Yes or no? Yes. Now, to make my calculation easy, I'll write this as X. Now, I'll try writing it in the formula. Time taken is equal to X. Hourly rate, I call it as 30. Time saved is equal to 4 hours is my standard time minus x divided by time allowed is 4 into x into 30. Correct? Guys, any doubt till here? Okay. Do you know the amount paid under Rowan's plan? See the question. Do you know the amount paid under the Rowan's plan? Suresh, is that the amount? Read the question carefully. Is that the amount? It's an, they are saying is paid an effective hourly rate of 37. So if he has taken 10 hours, then the number of the amount you would have paid would have been, see, he was getting an hourly rate of 30 because he saved the time, he is getting 37. But for how many hours, I don't know. Did you understand? I have considered my time taken to be X. Therefore, the total amount will be 37.50 into X. Are you guys clear till here? Are you guys clear till here? So now if I solve this, what do I get? See, X is common in all. I'll remove it off. So I can write it as 37.50 is equal to 30 plus, if I remove this off, that becomes 4 into 7.5, 30. Guys, are you all clear? Guys, are you all clear? Now I'll apply it in the ALSI formula. I know hours worked is what? 3. Time rate is 30 plus 50% of time saved. Time saved is what? 1 hour into 30. So that will become 105. Clear? Now they've asked, see here guys, this is not complete. The total earnings would have been 105 and also the effective hourly rate. How do you find effective hourly rate? The total amount divided by time taken, and time taken in this case is 3. So that comes to 35. Are you clear? Okay. When we say efficiency, right? Efficiency means what? Let's say for an example, I am giving you a task to do it on 8 hours and you complete it in 6 hours. Are you efficient? I'm giving you to complete a task in 8 hours, you are completing it in 6 hours. Are you efficient? Now the next question is, how much or how efficient are you is calculated by standard hours 8 divided by time taken 6 hours into 100. So what's your efficiency percentage? 133 percentage. Guys, are you clear? Now productivity and efficiency, both of them we consider to be the same, that is standard time divided by your actual time. Done. Now this is the other topic which is very important for your exam, is basically what do you mean by a employee turnover? Employee turnover basically means the number of people leaving or joining an organization. Turnover, that is they're joining and leaving. Are you clear? That is how much is the employee compensation changing in a company, right? Now in this, to calculate the turnover rate of a company, we have three methods. Method number one is called replacement method. Method number one is called as what? Replacement method. What is replacement method? See here, let's say there are 100 people who left the company. 100 people who left the company. 80 of them joined. 80 of them joined in place of that 100. So how many replacements happened? How many replacements happened? So the number of replacements is 80 divided by the average number of employees. How do you find average? Average is found out by opening plus closing divided by 2 into 100. Are you clear? So this method is called as the replacement method, where you are trying to find out the employment or the employee turnover based on the replacements done during a year. Are you clear? The second method is called as separation method. The second method is called as what? Separation method. Now what is separation method? Separation method basically means the number of people who left the organization. In this case, what is going to be the separations for me here? It is 100. So 100 divided by the average into 100. Are you clear? 100, because we are trying to find out based on the percentages. That's why I'm multiplying 100 again. Did you understand? And we know how to calculate average, that is opening plus closing divided by 2. The last method of turnover is basically called the flux method. Here what am I taking? I'm taking the number of people separated. How many were separated? 100. Out of which how many were replaced? 80 divided by the average, that is opening plus closing divided by 2. Now everyone see this question, the last question for the day. An accountant of Y Limited has computed the employee turnover rates for the quarter ended 31st March as 10%, 5% and 3% respectively under the flux method, replacement method and separation method. If the number of workers replaced in the quarter is 30, find out the number of workers for the quarter, that is recruited and joined, left or equivalent turnover employee turnover rates. Now I'll write down all my formulas. What is my formula for replacement method? What is the formula for replacement method? Number of replacements divided by average employees, yes or no? Now what is the replacement method ka? What is the percentage given? Replacement method, what is the percentage? See here, the quarter ended 5% replacement method. So I know 5% is equal to number of replacements, which is 30 divided by average into 100. Right? Therefore, average will be 30 into 100 divided by 5. So my average employees is going to be 600. Are you clear? Now, for the formula of separation method, the formula of separation method is what? Number of separations divided by average into 100. What all do I know in this formula? I know the percentage of separation method, which is 3%. Do I know the number of separations? No, X. Do I know the average? Yes, 600 into 100. So that will be so X number of separations is going to be 18. Are you clear? Done. Now the flux method also has another formula, that is number of separations plus number of people left, that is we say number of people replaced plus number of new joining, that is whoever has joined during the year, okay, divided by the average. This term we call it as accessions, that is number of people who have recruited and joined. Are you clear? Because I'll tell you why am I using this formula. See here, my flux method is giving me an answer of what? 10%, right? So if I use the other formula, 10% is equal to number of separations. How many separations were there? 18 plus number of replacements was 30 divided by 600 into 100. If I do it, I only am getting 8%. That means there is a balance. That balance is basically the 2% of people who have joined. Are you clear? So we'll be using this formula because the number of people who have replaced, there are also additional joinees. So in the exam, as much as possible, use this formula, not the other one given. Are you clear? That is number of people who joined plus the number of replacements. Are you clear with this? Now I'll try using the formula here. Flux method is equal to 10%. Separations I know is 18. I'll put it as X divided by 600. Done. So I can into 100. So 60 is equal to 18 plus X. X is equal to 60 minus 18. So the number of replacements was basically 30. New joinees was 12. Did you understand this? So let's see, have we answered all the question? Number of people recruited and joined. How many people were recruited and joined? 42 people. Number of people left and discharged is basically 18 people. Are you clear with this? Now see here, equivalent turnover rates for the year. These rates are what? For a quarter. That means how do we find out per year? Multiply by 4. So the flux method will say 40% because 10 into 4. Replacement method will say 5 into 4, 20%. And separation method will be 3 into 4, 12%. Are you clear? Done? Guys, I have given you the practice questions. Tomorrow we'll only be doing the practice questions of both material and labor. So I've sent you guys the questions in the group. Please make sure that you solve it. Pratham, you can switch off your camera if possible. Right? So you guys complete off your questions. Tomorrow we'll only be solving the questions. All the doubts what you have before we move into the overheads chapter on Wednesday. Are you all clear with this? Please go back, do all the questions, what has been given. There are a couple of questions which I know you would not be solving it, but it's okay, that will take care of it, right? So tomorrow we'll only be solving questions. So please make sure you solve it tomorrow. Today, that's why I'm leaving a little early so that you practice the given question, so you don't have to waste your time later saying that. And I don't want any of you guys to give a reason that you did not do anything. Doing is fine, doing mistakes are fine, but not doing is not acceptable. That's why I'm leaving you early so that you finish it off. You do right now. In the exam, you will save 6 months. Are you clear? So see you guys tomorrow then at 4. Tomorrow the class would be at 4, 4:15ish, so that because we have too many questions to solve. So see you guys.